All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is Sahara One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. I want to do a quick response to this video or reaction to this video dealing with. Who's his name? Channing Tatum, I think his name is, and Bud Crawford, the boxer, championship boxer, and he's been going through issues with these Idumeans, they're trying to get money out of him. All right, that's running the WBC corporation, and he asked. I guess something happened where Channing Tatum. If that's not his name, it's all good. But I think his name Channing Tatum, the guy with the light skinned dude. He said he would sell his soul for money, basically, man. You see that? But Jake be joking, but they be serious. It's called an opportunist, and an opportunist, unless it's a positive opportunity, meaning a person that's preparing for opportunity, and but an opportunist would take any opportunity they can get, to move forward or to fit in or to be successful. Now the Lord sent us here to do his will and to take care of our children, but not to sell our soul for our children, not to sell our soul for our family for any reason. And your soul represents more than just what's within you, it's your life. And for the elect, for the disciples, it's the kingdom. That's life. All right. So when the Lord said, "Don't sell your soul," He's saying, don't lose who you are. Don't lose your morals and your spirit. But to the disciples, He was saying, "Don't lose your place in the kingdom, the first fruits, right, of being the elect. All right, by selling your soul for nothing, for paper." I look at it like this, man. You come down, the Lord send you down to this earth, right? Imagine this. He send you down to this earth. And there's a bunch of people on the earth, Idumeans, whoever, that just got there, just you and one person. You and Esau. So, but and he says, "Yo, I got these trees and rocks over here. All you gotta do is give me something for it." And you like, I just got here on the earth just like you. See, a different mindset. And then he pull a weapon out on you. And he said, "You can't take these rocks, you can't take these trees, you can't take this land as mine." See, under threat. That's the only that's the scriptures say that. Through ill-gotten gain. That's the only way these nations have taken over this world and claim they own it. Like Esau, Job 9 and 24, I think it is. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. All right, so they have the resources to offer you a false notion of freedom, but they really still trap you in their system, especially if you're rich. You got to pay more taxes, you got to pay mortgages, all kind of leases, right? You become a target for sharks trying to get your money. So, selling your soul, that's your life. In a lot of ways, it's like your physical life, because you're playing with the devil. It could take your life. It's called sacrifice. They be sacrificing people and shit. Doing a business deal and partnership with people, that's different. But selling your soul for any contract, look at the Diddy situation. Look at the Epstein situation, right? Things that happen behind closed doors when you sign into these people. Perfect examples now. So he would sell his soul to somebody like that. He would sell his soul to anybody, another human that's just like him, for paper money that isn't money at all, and it's about to crash. It just shows the folly. That's why I'm gonna play the clip. I'm gonna play the clip. You listen to it for yourself. There you go. And look at Bud face. You can tell he pissed off already. His heart broken right there because he looking at another Jake, or like they say, so-called black man, and he like, damn, this is what the men have come to. You know, no backbone. I sell my soul. There's somebody out there looking to purchase. You know, can you physically sell your soul? No, your soul belongs to the Most High. But you can sell your life away, you know, for nothing. Meaning you'll become a slave to an individual. Um, you can get pimped out. They can take advantage of your money. You can sacrifice your ass. So it's a lot that comes with it. Even if it didn't come with that, you wouldn't want to be selling something that's not yours. Our soul belongs to the Most High. And that just shows that this guy that I'm about to play, doesn't believe in the Most High, man. And these are guys that run these shows. It's like the voice of the community, the so-called black community. You know, but you see, he's gonna be joking about it, but you're gonna see Bud Crawford get mad, and that smile go quickly off the other guy's face. All right, I'm gonna play a little bit.
Your whole life undefeated, but you grind to feed your kids, to make better for your family. I always say everything got a price. Because people say, like, I love my dog. I get $100. No, I get $1,000. No, I get $100,000. Hey, you can have it.
See, he was taught that. He was taught that. We saw that in the movies growing up. You know what I mean? I would ask him, like, when did you see that happen? You probably saw it in the movies. You know, he ain't probably never see that in real life. Somebody just come up and say, all right, you can have it. You know? Yeah, that happens, but I bet you he never saw it before. He's just talking. But people don't understand when they become, um, what's the word, man? A celebrity or out in the open, you become a spokesperson for somebody. People watching, children watching, you know? Sports players are watching that are about to sign contracts to these companies in the NFL, et cetera, et cetera. Boxing. And he up here talking about selling out, selling his soul, man. A person like that will turn on you. That's what they call them, opportunists. You can't trust them. Somebody want to get to you, they pay him or threaten him, his life on the line, his money on the line, or his family on the line, he gonna turn on you. An honorable man, they're gonna make sure their family not in that situation anyway. Cause they're gonna take their daily bread. You know? But yeah, I'm gonna play the rest of the clip.
Like, my thought is everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in there. 80 million, 100 million. Because now you selling yourself.
Oh, of course.
Everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in there. 80 million, 100 million. Because now you selling your soul. $100 million, you can have my soul. Like, my thought is everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in there. 80 million, 100 million. Because now you selling your soul. $100 million, you can have my soul. That's you. Now we know your character.
Look, he said, look at that demon on his face, man. You can tell Jake got demons on him, man. Right? Especially with the hair, the long hair like that. That dude looks soulless. He look like he already did it. You can have my soul. He like he already sold it. He look vacant. You can have my soul. You don't even know what your soul is. He's just talking. Yeah, they gonna get his chance. He gonna get his opportunity. Because the hour of temptation is coming upon all the world, where they're gonna be tested. And he already what? Let's listen to Bud Crawford.
Sometimes, you look at people and so $100 million, you can have my soul. That's you. Now we know your character.
Now we know your character. Now you know you. Now we know his character and individuals like him, man. I gotta take care of these kids, man. You gotta take care of your children. And he said those that don't provide for their family, meaning if you have the means to, this is you can't kick in the door and force somebody to give you a job, but you gotta try to make ends meet. At least try. He said if not, you're worse than an infidel. So you gotta try to take care of your children. But um, if you're not able to, you shouldn't sell your soul. Because imagine if we were still in slavery and he was talking like this, you already know where he would be at. Next to Massa, sitting on the porch, looking just like that. Look at his face. Come on, man. All right, what they call him Uncle? Uncle Tom. He was sitting right up there on the porch, just like that, with that face. All right, y'all know it. I'm talking just like that. Yep. So
Sometimes, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. You ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man. Like, what you gonna stand for if everything is about money?
right, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. You know.
Like, I never was in a sport because of money. You know, of course, I was in a sport to make money.
So yeah, the focus is. I'm gonna go back. This guy here, man. Look at his face, man.
I get $100,000. Hey, you can have it. Like, my thought is everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million. Because now you selling your soul. $100 million, you can have my soul. That's you. Now we know your character.
Damn. Now we know his character. Hold on. This is Matthew 16 and 26. For what is a man profited? All right. Now this was to the disciples, but it also um, can show dealing with a man's character, man. What type of man you are. That matters still, even if you're not in the truth. What type of individual a character is. All right. For what is a man profited? All right. So now initially the Lord was saying this to the disciples. What are you profited if you gain the whole world and you lose your spot in the kingdom? In amongst the elect. So the Lord was saying stay diligent and loyal to him. How about Shem Shai? Um and you see how the devil approached Yahushua and tried to offer him the whole world. But Yahushua knew about the kingdom. He knew the devil was deceiving and that everything belongs to the Father Yahweh. You're going to sell your soul, or sell it to him. Sell it to the Most High then. These people are weird, man. I sell my soul. Well, sell it to the Lord then. He own it. Give it back to him. Who is he? That's the problem. See, a lot of them don't know who he is. That's why they talk like that. And that's why Yahushua would say things like, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. They just don't know. All right, there's that Gentile state of mind, that Greek state of mind. Just like they did during the time of Maccabees, a bunch of our people had the same mindset. I'm gonna read that in a second too. Matthew 16 and 26. For what is a man profited? All right, what profit do you get if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul? You might as well say lose his life. You ain't gonna be here to enjoy it, but my children will. That shit don't make sense, man. You know, what shall a man be profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? You got to remember that Esau has a grip on this world right now, and they enlarge their desires as hell. And when the wicked are in power, the people mourn, and that mourning, people are willing to sell their soul to get from under it. When the Lord sent us over here to be punished, and to look for grace and mercy from our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shem Yahushua, not come over here and, and, and add sin to sin. If he shall gain the whole world, man, and lose his own soul or life, or what shall a man give in exchange for his life or soul? You know? So originally this was to the disciples because they knew about the kingdom. And he was like, yo, for the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his work. So you want to sell your soul, sell it to the Lord, and he'll give you a reward for it. All right, turn to him. Turn to Yahweh Shem Shai. Look for him. So instead, these people willing to sell their soul to a man that's just like them. So what shall a man give in exchange for his soul, man? Because money and paper, it comes and goes. It's of the earth, but the soul is from heaven. It's eternal. That's your life. All right, let me get this. 1 Timothy 6:17. Charge them that are rich in this world. All right. So all these people want to be. Jake want to be rich. Even ever since slavery, Jake wanted to be rich. Um, I mean, we all want to be successful, but not Esau's rich. Like, that's why Jake will wear them big chains, big jewelry. You know, go get the big giant mansion. Um, try to copy off of Esau. What they believe success is. Success is family. Success is having morals, coming into this earth and leaving this earth with dignity. That's success, doing the Lord's will, providing for your family, you know, success, educating your children. But to be to have $100,000 or $1,000,000, come on, man, that's not true riches. Look at Will Smith. He even admitted that he's not rich as far as family, man, and his experiences. Look at Diddy. Is that rich? Look at Jane, all these celebrities that we've seen come and go. You know, more money, more problems. Charge them that are rich in this world. See, we're really looking to be rich in the kingdom. That they be not high minded, nor trust in uncertain riches. See, them celebrities, they get out there and be high minded. And then they begin to what? Trust in uncertain riches. The dollar is an uncertain form of wealth. It's a fiat currency, it's fake money. Well, I sell it for gold and silver. You're still selling your soul for something that's carnal on this earth. The soul is eternal. The soul is your spirit, or your morals, or your dignity, or your character, who you are. And you throw that away, and they say, "All right, then, cool. I'm gonna give you $1,000,000, but you got to be a sodomite. You know, I'm gonna give you $1 billion if you sacrifice your family." See, these are the type of things that these devil worshippers will offer you. Look at the Epstein shit, and that's Epstein is the tip of the iceberg. It's a whole mountain that's connected to that pedophilia lifestyle. All right, so charge them that are rich in this world, so you can have money. There's nothing wrong with being a celebrity or having millions of dollars, but work hard to get it, like Bud Crawford was saying, you know, and be willing to let it go. That they be not high minded, right? That's right. I just had another scripture come to my mind. Nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living power, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. That they do good, and that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate, really talking to the elect, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the times to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life. All right. And this guy, he has probably no idea about that, you know, about the kingdom. He had no, that's called no hope. So he's willing to just sell his soul. Like, hey, oh well. Here you go. Matthew 6:19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth. All right. Because we all leave this earth. We came into this world. We could take nothing with us. All right. Matthew 16:19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, man. And where thieves break through and steal. If you got billions of dollars in the bank, they coming to get it. Fractional reserve currency, taxes, you know, court cases. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, laying up a hedge against the day to come, judgment day, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through and steal. Talking about Yahushua, he's our reward. All right, and our faith and your works, they'll follow you. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So it shows, he said, it shows what type of character this guy is. His mind is all about money. Probably high-minded, you know. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thy eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. That's why I say like he got demons on it. By those little words that he said, it shows like a leaf of a bigger tree. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness, man? See that? It shows an example of his character within. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve Yahweh and riches, or mammon, or riches, not just money, but riches. Right? And that's really talking about people like Zachariah, that try to bring money into being a disciple, try to make money off this truth. The Lord saying you can't serve him and the money. It got to be about the Lord, man. Put the money on the back burner. All right. And also people like a lot of these entertainers, um, they get tied up in this world and these contracts, and they can't serve the Lord that way. They got obligations. So the Lord is saying, yo, seek ye the kingdom of heaven first, and these things shall be added unto you. Of course you don't want, I can't front. Always, till a few years ago, I thought, supposed to be like monks out here. You weren't supposed to chase no money, but, of course you got to get a dollar. You got to get a bag somehow, but you don't want to sell your soul for it. Just work, you know. If your business is in entertainment, let it be in entertainment, but be willing to walk away. Know what type of jungle you're in, where there's snakes, sharks, hyenas, right? It's danger. A dangerous place to fall. So let me get this. All right. So yeah, you know, does he mean that? Hey, the Lord said every idle word spoken, they're gonna, especially when you're um a celebrity like that, man. And you got the ears of the people and you talking like that. They get hundreds of thousands of views. He's like, you can have my soul. Like, who are you saying that to? The devil? Like, what are you putting out there, to the people? That's like kind of like even if he's not into that, the Lord gonna test him. The hour of temptation coming upon all the world. The MOTB, you know. You're gonna make money, all right. You won't be able to buy or sell unless you take it. If you take it, that's your ass, man. That the Lord gonna bring judgment upon him. 1 Timothy 6:5. 4. He is proud and knoweth nothing. All right, that's that high mindedness. But doting about questions and strife of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings, perverse disputings of evil of men of corrupt minds, man, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself, because they'll sell their soul. They'll sell you. They'll try to make money off of you, all right, for the truth. But godliness with contentment is great gain. See that? So just being a spiritual person and being content with that and staying in that walk and having dignity about yourself as you walk in the valley of the shadow of death, being a sheep amongst wolves, but having your covering on, that's great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content, man. Just a beautiful day. Have your family straight. You got money saved up. You see what I mean? You're not supposed to want too much from these devils, man, because it comes with a price. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil. See, money doesn't have to be evil. Just like um, wood from a tree doesn't have to be made for an idol. It could be made for a ship to deliver people, or a home for a house. But instead, people use these metals to make idols with. Instead, people use money to sell their soul for it. And they love money first. They love money more than anything, and it's just an object. It becomes their idol. They begin to trust in it, like it says on the paper, the dollar. For the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money would cause people to be in that spirit like Esau, enlarging their desires as hell, hurting each other for money, selling their soul for it. Which, while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. That's all it's going to bring upon them at the end of the day, is many sorrows. There's nothing wrong with having money. Again, till a few years ago, till I became a teenager, adult teenager, I thought it was just the money that was evil. So I stayed away from it. I'd take money, rip it up, throw it away. People like, yo, he was crazy. My brother was like, yo, something wrong with you, bro. It probably was. I learned later in life, yeah, you got to make the money. You got to take care of your family, things like that. That responsibility happens. But, I'm thankful the Lord gave me that view on things, on money. But you gotta work hard, and working hard will naturally bring in income. But you don't have to sell your soul for it. You sell your time, which is just working. Or you have your business. All right. So there you go. All right. Again, the hour of temptation is coming. The dollar fiat currency money was produced by them. You see their faces on the money. Even if we was in Egypt and you had them Hamites face on their coins and shit, you don't sell your soul for nothing, man. It's not yours to sell. You're just selling your life away and demoralizing yourself. That's all he's gonna be doing. And with the current environment that we're in, he's gonna be tested on that statement he said. It might be from a higher up, a contract person, or you see what happened to the dude Ted. What's his name? Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz. Terry Crews. Yeah, Terry Crews, the guy from Friday, the big buff dude, only all acting all feminine on the movies, and then he got tried at one of these elite events. Walked right up to him and grabbed his crotch. Little Edomite grabbed him, looked at him like, do something about it. And he ain't do nothing about it because of money. That right there was called selling out. Now years later, he playing the victim and crying. Hey, to each their own. But Proverbs 28:22, man. He that hasteth, he that hasteth to be rich has an evil eye. He said, if thy eye be evil, how great is that darkness? So if you hasten to be rich, you got an evil eye. Your mind focused on one thing, and I mean the whole body is darkness. And consider if not that poverty shall come upon him, man. It's coming. The dollar's crashing, and everybody's gonna be put in a impoverished position, and they're gonna look back and say, "Damn, I did this, all this for the money, and the battle just starting, and they all wrung out like a rag, an old rag, used and abused for the dollar. That's just a temporary system." All right, Ecclesiasticus 14:11. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself. See, it's important. And give the Lord his due offering. Remember that death will not be long in coming, and that the covenant of the grave is not showed unto thee. Well, we don't know what day or time we have to leave this earth. So yeah, you want to work and provide for your family. You want to do your business on this earth that the Lord sent you here to do, or have a purpose. All right. So it says, oh man, my battery about to go out. It says, do good unto thy friend before thou die. According to thy ability, stretch out thy hand and give to him. Right. It says better to give than to receive. Right. The Lord loves a faithful giver. All right. Let me So it says here, defraud not thyself of the good day, and let not the part of a good desire overpass thee. You can have your portion, love your family, love your brethren, eat some good tasting foods and things like that. And really be in this truth. Shalt thou leave thy travails unto another, and thy labors to be divided by lot? Give and take, and sanctify thy soul, for there is no seeking of dainties in the grave. So when a person's unalive, that's why the Lord's saying, we're going to sell your life. You ain't going to be here to spend it and enjoy it. All flesh waxeth old as a garment. So this flesh, not your spirit, but the flesh is like a garment, and it's made to wax old, all right, at some point, mainly around 75, scripture say. For the covenant from the beginning is, thou shalt die the death, all right? That's what he said to Adam. The spirit should not always dwell with man, you know? That thou shalt die the death. Let me fix this. No, it's not charging. All right. It says, thou shalt die the death off, and as of the green leaves on a thick tree, some fall, some grow. So is the generation of flesh and blood. One cometh to an end, and another is born. Just like you sit there and watch a tree, when the leaves blossom, you know that one just died. And if there's leaves all over the ground, you know that there's new leaves on the tree. Just like children on earth, and the people that get unalived. Every work rotteth and consumeth away, even the money, even this flesh, and the worker thereof shall go with all, man. So what the hell are you selling your life for? It's all nothing. It's all nothing, man. Look how many. Always look at. That's why the Lord say, watch the ants. Always look at how many ant mounds they build. It's just vanity, but they're gonna have to keep building them, and people gonna keep tearing them down. Look at the kingdoms. and the ambitions that people have that they took with them to the grave. They said the most place that has the most talent is in the grave. People like Alexander the Great, he had a vision of a kingdom that would last forever. Nebuchadnezzar, all of them, it was all vanity. So anything that we can imagine besides the kingdom is all vanity. You want to build up a mansion here, the Lord said, or a community here, he said, you shall suffer loss, but you can still be saved, you know, yet by fire. So it says, for our light affliction, which is but 2 Corinthians 4:17, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. See, this affliction is what make people sell out. Pressure bust pipes, you know. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. Look towards the kingdom, the spirit, your soul. For the things which are seen are temporal. So he's gonna sell something that's eternal for something that's temporal. That's impossible, man. Only thing you can do is just sell your position or your character away. All right. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. The kingdom, righteousness, morals, dignity. Those things are eternal and internal. All right. But things that are in this world and of this world is all temporal, man. It changes just like the seasons, quicker than that. All right. Because that's what this system is made for, to put pressure on you. Just like they're putting pressure on those people over in the Middle East, guys, Iran, trying to get them to what? Submit. They put pressure on us during the civil rights movement and slavery to force us, even Antiochus Epiphanes, 168 BC, forcing us to eat pork. Everything with them is about submission. And that pressure that people feel, they want more riches, more gain. And he'll sell his soul even though he's already rich. He said, that just shows your character, bro. Wisdom of Solomon 1:13. For Yahweh made not death, neither have he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For right, he made all man to be eternal at, at first. For he created all things that they might have their being in like nature. And the generations of the world were healthful, all right, from Adam. And there is no poison of destruction in them. Yeah, they were perfect, Adam and Eve, and what's it called, Adamites. They were basically perfect at that time. Nor the kingdom of death upon the earth, all right? So there was no death at that time. For righteousness is immortal. That was the proof that righteousness is immortal right there, if you really meditate on that, until death comes into play, which is sin, going against the Lord's word. It brings death. Other than that, we're immortal. He made us righteous or upright. But ungodly men, see, with their works, people like this dude, and their words, they call it to them, man. Cause and effect. We in that time, man. You say something like that, he gonna get an answer from the devil. I'll sell my soul. Yeah, okay. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it, man. It shows their character. Because they're worthy to be a part of that selling out shit, because they're sellouts. All right. And they said there's nothing new under the sun. First Maccabees 1:11. In those days, during the time of 168 BC, Antiochus Epiphanes, the Greeks, time of Maccabees, a lot of people were selling out, becoming pagans. In those days, went there out of Israel wicked men. So we still have wicked men amongst our people who persuaded many, and that's what he's doing, whether he knows it or not. By putting it out there, there's gonna be a lot of individuals that agree with him. They sell their soul. So they're persuading people, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen, selling out, that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So people don't want to feel that sorrow, that hell that we're in. They don't want to feel the flames. So they'll sell their soul for it. So this device pleased them well. All right. So then certain of the people were so forward herein, they were really wanting to sell out, that they went to the king, Antiochus, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. They sold out. They sold their soul, and he gave them a license for it. Here go your badge. Whereupon, all right, so verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. They sold their soul. They sold themselves, man, to do mischief. So there's nothing new under the sun. Matthew 16 and 26. Oh, so like I already got that one. Ecclesiasticus 10 and 9. Why is earth and ashes proud, man? How you gonna be prideful like that? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. All right, that's why the Lord said, don't envy the wicked. They covetous, with greed. For such and one setteth his own soul to sale. Damn, he said that's wicked, man. Because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. He casteth his character away. Selling out. Selling his soul. All right. But just because you see other men ruling and riches, the Lord said, don't envy the riches, man. You know, choose none of his ways. Don't try to be like them. So don't sell out. Proverbs 23 and 1. When thou sittest to eat with the ruler, when you, just like now we're eating as far as money in their economy, consider diligently what is before thee, man, when you're going to make money. Consider what you're stepping into. And put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. If you know that you want to be successful, chaste yourself, be careful, and don't go out there willing to sell out, looking desperate. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. See that? Labor not to be rich. Cease from thy own wisdom. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. So eventually you're going to lose that money. Look at all these fighters and celebrities, have got the money, then lost it. And sold out for it and still lost the money and their life sometimes. Or other people around them. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye. See? Somebody wants you to sell your soul or lose your character, your dignity to sign with them. No, that's what Bud Crawford's saying. He's like, yo, I ain't selling out to those evil-eyed individuals. Neither desire thou his dainties, meats. Like Bud Crawford, he don't want their belt, the WBC. He don't want their money because they want him to pay. He's like, I don't want it. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, like they tried with Kanye, Adidas, and all those companies. Eat them, But his heart is, he said, eat and drink. He said, sign the contract. Be wealthy. Here go the money. Here. Just like they did in the record labels. But his heart is not with thee, man. They how you sell your soul, but their heart is not with you. The morsel which thou hast eaten, shalt thou vomit up and lose thy sweet words. You're going to wish you never did it. So don't follow people like this guy, man, just talking. You can sell you can have my soul for whatever price. Hell no. The Lord said, yo, you sit down to eat with the rich, put a knife to your throat and be basically saying, watch your step. Basically, the Lord putting a knife to your throat. All right. So again, there's no new thing under the sun, man. This shit happened over and over again. 1 Corinthians 7 and 31. And they that use this world, so we can use the world and work and all that. That's a curse, actually, that we got to work. As not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. See that? All right. So yeah, we don't want to be like this guy because he said, what? Every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account for in the day of judgment. He gonna have to answer for that. This is not boasting against the branches. Of course, I don't want nothing to happen to them. God seemed kind of cool, but judgment is coming for all of us, and we want to watch what we say in the arena that we're in on social media, uh, especially if you're in a responsible position and people are watching and listening to you. The things you say matter, man. And he putting out there to sell your soul. And Bud Crawford, like, no, keep your dignity. So with that, I'm gonna say, Shalom, man. Kyle Halayim, like, how about you, man? With Shy. All right, Shalom. Peace to the elect.